America's major companies being here today, and they're America's top business leaders, and being here to support the Build Back Better initiative is, I think, important. The economic plan we began with in this administration has shown some real results. We've had the strongest job growth on record, the largest decline in unemployment on record, the strongest small business growth in a long time, and the strongest economic growth in 40 years. But we face some real challenges. We've got to get prices in check and for working people out there, and that's why the last component of my plan is so important and why the support of these incredible business leaders means so much. And let me start by saying, let's take child care. Families across America, and particularly in big cities, pay as much as $14,000 per child for child care. My plan cuts in half for most families the cost of that child care, helping their budgets and helping millions of parents, especially women, get back to work. They take universal pre-K. If we're designing our education system today, and I think we've talked with some of you about this before, I doubt whether anyone would think that 12 years is enough in the second quarter of the 21st century. And so what we do here is we want to have the best educated workforce, and that's why universal pre-K is going to mean so much. And it also, it also increases exponentially the prospect of that child being able to, no matter what her background, or his or her background, get through 12 years of school and then go on, almost half go on to a 2 or 4 year college. And students show, and these studies have been done by a lot of the great universities, that I think it's an economic necessity to have the best educated workforce. And take clean energy manufacturing. We're bringing American manufacturing back. Or I should say, you all are bringing American manufacturing back, and we're helping along the way here. The industrial Midwest, believe it or not, is coming back. I got here when I was 20 to 30 years old, and the industrial Midwest was still going strong, but it's coming back, doing some of the most sophisticated manufacturing in the world. A real breakthrough began last year when Mary Barra, excuse me, Mary, for referring to her, I said it again, and Jim Farley of Ford, GM and Ford, and some of the key labor leaders announced that they're moving to all-electric future for vehicles. Just yesterday, Mary and GM announced a $7 billion investment to build electric vehicles in Michigan. It's going to create 4,000 new jobs. And last year, I was up at Ford's plant in Dearborn, Michigan, to see that all-electric 150 as part of Ford's $11 billion investment in electric vehicles. That's going to create 11,000 new jobs. And as part of the over $100 billion committed over the last year, American Auto Manufacturing is going to build electric vehicles and batteries and build them in the United States of America. And we all know how important it is to manufacturing to have the necessary component parts here in America, made in America. And last week, I point out that Intel announced a $20 billion plan to build a semiconductor manufacturing facility in Ohio, one of the largest of its kind in our nation's history. It's going to create 10,000 jobs. And I might add, one of the reasons for inflation being high as it is, 1/3 of the reason inflation is up is the cost of vehicles. And the reason the cost of vehicles is up is they don't have the component parts, meaning significantly the semiconductors. Last year, other top manufacturers committed $80 billion in new semiconductor facilities across the nation beyond what Intel just announced. It's going to create thousands of jobs, thousands of good-paying jobs. And my new infrastructure law is going to build out more than 50,000 charging stations for electric vehicles across the country, creating better paying jobs for thousands of workers. And the IBEW is going to be really very busy putting all those in all over the country. And that's just a start. Our Build Back Better plan, I say ours, is going to do even more in my view. Combined with the infrastructure law, we're making the biggest investment in clean energy manufacturing ever in American history. And this is about here and now and the future. You know, our Build Back Better plan is paid for. It doesn't increase the deficit. And maybe the best news of all, it will actually help alleviate inflation. The fact that 17 Nobel laureates in economics say that the Build Back Better initiative will ease inflation pressures in the future is somewhat reassuring. The bottom line is, a lot of folks refer to this as just social spending. Well, I see it, but I see it this way. The Build Back Better plan lowers prices for families and gets people working. It creates the best educated workforce, hopefully in the world, and ensures that we remain the most dynamic and productive economy in the world. It's good for families, it's good for the economy, and it's good for the country. And so I'm grateful for the support of the CEOs that are here. I know they're somewhat busy, to say the least, and they represent a broad spectrum of the economy and employ workers across the country, from senior executives to high-skill entry-level workers. And so I look forward to the input today that we're going to be having here and their expertise. And now let's get started with this meeting. Announce it on their own. There has been no announcement from Justice Breyer. Let him make whatever statement he's going to make, and I'll be happy to talk about it later. Thank you so much.
Mr. President, so we're going to...
I'll be happy to talk about this later. I'm going to get into this issue, okay? Thank you so much.
We're going to start by asking Tom Linebarger to offer your thoughts, please.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. It's an honor to be
Want to go to the
here.
Supreme Court, Tom?
I'm just going to demur on that one, but it's really an honor to be here. Thank you for inviting me to this event, and I just want to say that.
Come on, guys. Let's move this.